So we are instantiating our struct blueprint, this blueprint. We are instantiating it. We're storing it in this variable, but we're not doing anything with that variable, of course. We just have some data in there, in that user struct, which is nice. But of course, a good next step would be to pass this to this function, for example, which needs all that data. And that's indeed one of the advantages of using a struct. Because here, in this output user details function, instead of accepting all these different parameters, we can now simply accept a user value, which should be of type user. And since this looks a bit weird, I'll use a different name here. Maybe just u. So that's the parameter name, that's the value type. And the value type here is user, our own user struct type. So now this function wants such a struct, and if it now wants to output first name, last name, and so on, we can easily do that by using this struct, and then there we can use the dot notation. Just as we use this dot to access functions exposed by a package, we also use this dot on a struct to access the fields of that struct and the values stored in those fields, therefore. So if I want to output the first name here, I can do this by accessing u.firstname. If I want to output the last name, I can use u.lastname. And also u.birthdate, and so on. This is how we can accept one parameter and still access and output all that data. Now, of course, we also have to pass that value to output user details then. And we can do that by simply passing app user here. Because app user is a value of type struct, and that's exactly what output user details wants. And that's therefore how you can pass a struct value around and how you can access the fields in a struct. Therefore, we can now run this application again and enter some user details here, all those details that are required, and I still get the same result as before, but now with help of this struct, which allows us to make this function and especially its parameter list a bit leaner.